Hello there and welcome. As we've been talking about this beautiful new change that most of us are starting to really feel quite strongly in our lives at this time, it's not unusual with change to go through what we call a grieving period. We were talking recently about the fact that change usually comes with a catalyst moment, an impact moment in our lives that kind of wakes us up from our sleep and all the masks we've given ourselves and all the stories we've given ourselves. And when we suddenly wake up, it's like we wake up and go, wow, how did I get here? I don't know how I got here in my life. How do I navigate my way through this again? And what happens is that sets off a kind of release mechanism where we often enter a place of what I call transcendence, where we go through a grieving period of how did I get here? I don't remember being conscious about making some of these decisions or choices in my life, and yet you have done exactly that. And so we grieve sometimes that beautiful, authentic self that we have masked and buried and put aside, and we've told all these really nasty storylines to, oh, well, you're not good enough, and I'm too stupid to do that, and I'm not pretty enough or good looking enough for that, or I don't have the intelligence, or I don't have the certificate, or, I just play this game and I pretend. And that word pretend is really important because as children, the first thing they do so beautifully in life is they pretend. They pretend to be this and they pretend to be that, and they can jump off the garage ceiling and be Superman. And they have this beautiful inner faith that if they jump off the garage, they're going to fly. They quickly realize that they can't fly. But as adults, that pretending continues on through our lives, and often that pretending becomes a shield, a way of masking that beautiful inner heart, that inner soul of you, to fit in to what society tells you ought to be. And media, unfortunately, we have so much of that in our lives on a day-to-day basis, bombarding us, making us feel often very bad about ourselves, that we haven't achieved enough, we haven't done enough, I don't fit in enough, I'm not, we compare ourselves all the time to everyone else around us. And that's an exhausting thing to do, because you came into the world as this beautiful individual seed. And that seed was meant to bloom and flourish into the world just as itself. Just as itself. It wasn't meant to be the same as all the others. It was meant to be authentically itself. And so when we have these catalyst moments of waking up and beginning changes in our life, we go through a grieving process, and that grieving process can be 9 days, 9 months, or 9 years. But that grieving process is necessary and very natural as you begin to inner discover the levels of yourself that you possibly up until now have not been listening to. So if as you start to listen to these little moments, these little talks that we're having together, and you're starting to feel a bit teary or a bit sad, or something within these moments is causing you to feel a little bit emotional, I would ask you to just ask yourself what that emotion is really about. And don't be afraid to visit with that emotion, to really get honest with what that emotion is about. it's so important for your wellness and for this passage of change and for your way forward to be able to accept what this moment of change is about. So instead of beating yourself up, you might like to say, you know what? I'm going to be brave enough to just visit with this emotion that I'm feeling. I'm going to own it. I'm going to identify it. And when I identify it, I can start to make a difference. So I hope you'll join me here at Softly Listening. Share it along with your friends and family, and we'll talk again really soon. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.